Hello students. So in this class, we'll learn the shell programming. There is shell as a programming language, writing shell scripts, and how to execute the shell scripts. So as you know, shell is a command interpreter, and the shell is also a programming language that can execute shell scripts in an interpretive mode, that is one line at a time. That is, the script is not compiled into executable file like as in C file. So each statement or instruction is loaded into memory whenever it is to be executed. So why shell programming, or when to use shell programming? So many commands have been dealt so far in the previous classes. So each command perform a simple task. So however, using just one command to get a task done is found to be inadequate. In other words, more than one command is required to get a task done. So in such circumstances, all necessary commands that are required are put in a separate file in the required sequence, and the file is executed. So such a set of commands that are grouped together within a file and executes at a stretch is called shell scripts. So what is the shell script? The shell programs or shell scripts are executable text files that contain Unix commands. Then how do you write and execute a shell script? There are two steps. First step, use VI editor. VI stands for Visual Editor, or any text editor available on the Linux to create the shell script. So once you create the shell script, second step, run the script. So how to run the script? Use the command sh followed by the name of the shell script. So for example, go to the dollar prompt and type sh followed by the file name .sh. So all shell scripts is stored with a file extension of .sh. Let us start with writing a simple shell script. Write a shell script that displays a welcome message, today's date, this month calendar, the shell being used. Okay. So the script name is first.sh, say. So what I have to do? So the required command are put in a separate file in the required sequence. So first you have to display a welcome message. So how to display a welcome message? Using echo command, echo followed by the string that you want to display on the screen. Say welcome to shell program. So echo command will print the argument on the screen. So the argument here is welcome to shell program. And the next task is you have to display today's date. So which is the command that displays today's date, the date command. So write the date command, and then the next task, this month calendar. So use the calendar command, calcom command. So calendar. So this month in the sense, say month number 10th, and the year, say 2007. And the shell being used, the current shell being used by the user. So as you know that it is found in a environment variable called shell. Okay, so how to retrieve the value of this variable shell? Prefix with $. Okay, and use the echo command to print the value of this variable. So echo, say my shell, this is the string that will be displayed as it is on the screen, then the value of this variable. So that will give the current shell being used. Okay. So let me demonstrate this on the online Linux terminal. So I have a file called first.sh that is already created. I'm opening it. So this is the program. So execute the script first.sh, sh followed by file name .sh. You see the output. So first it has displayed the welcome screen on the welcome message on the screen. Next the today's date, then the calendar, and then the shell. The current shell being used is bash. So the string my shell displayed as it is, then followed by the value of the variable shell. So that is how you run the script. Okay, so you have to run the script using the command. Go to the prompt sh followed by first.sh. Okay, so this is the output of the program. Then the next topic, read statement. So read is a statement, it is not a command. Okay, so the read statement is used to place a value in a variable, so it can be used to prompt the user for input. So this read statement is used for taking input from the user. So syntax of using this read statement. So statement is read followed by the argument is variable name. Okay. So this read statement simply reads a value from the keyboard and stores it in the variable name. So here is an example. Write a shell script to read and display your name. So before reading the name, you print a prompt message for the user saying enter your name using echo command. Then use the read statement to read the value into the variable name. So read, the variable name is name. Then it will immediately prompt the user to enter the name. So once the user enters the name, it will be stored in the variable name and then displayed. So using echo command, echo. So the string hi, that will be displayed as it is, literally, and then followed by the value of the variable. So variable name is name, and you have to prefix with dollar, okay, to retrieve the value of the variable. So here is the output. So enter your name, and then you type the name, say Richard, and it will be, so name will be displayed on the screen using echo. Say hi Richard. So I've already written the file. The file name is readtest.sh. So I will open it using the VI editor. So this is the file. Just run the script. sh. File name is read test.sh. Yeah. So this string enter your name will be displayed as it is. Then it is waiting for the user to type in or key in something. Let's see. And whatever you write from the keyboard will be stored in the variable name, and we are displaying the value of the variable name using the echo command. So another example of the read statement. Write a shell script that search a pattern from file, reading the pattern and file name from the user. So you have to search a pattern from the file. Okay. So the pattern and the file name should be read from the user, that is keyboard. So the first command is echo. The string you want to display is enter pattern to be searched. This will be displayed as it is. Then use the read statement to read the pattern name. Read followed by the variable name is p name. Then echo, enter the file to be used. So before reading the file name, you display this message saying enter the file to be used. Then use the read statement to read the file name. So read followed by the argument is the variable fl name. So the read file will be stored in this variable fl name. Then how do you search a pattern from the file? So you know which command to use, the grep command. So the grep command is used to search a pattern from a file. So grep followed by the argument is the pattern. So pattern is stored in the variable p name. Retrieve it $p name. So enclose the pattern in quotes, and then the next argument is the file name. Okay. So variable where the file name is stored is fl name. So prefix with $, to retrieve the value. So I already created a file called example2.sh. So this is the shell script. This run it sh ex2.sh. So it is prompting the user to enter the pattern name, say sales. I want to find the text sales, and it is asking for the file to be used, say from emp.lst. I want to search for the pattern sales from the file emp.lst. See, observe the output. So grep command has displayed all the lines containing the pattern sales. Then next topic, the exit command. So exit command terminates a script. To terminate a running script, use the exit command. Okay. So this command is generally run with a numeric argument. So exit and the argument is 0. So this is used when everything went fine. Exit followed by the numeric argument 1, exit 1 is used when something went wrong. So you can exit a script at any place using the exit command. So it is quite often used with a command when it fails. Then another command, test command, which is more commonly used in the shell script. So test command evaluates an conditional expression and returns 0 if the condition evaluates to true, and will return 1 otherwise. Okay, so this is not 0, it is 1. So test command evaluates an expression and returns true or false. So value of true is 0 and value of false is 1. Okay. So this is how you test a condition in the command part of the if statement. So because the test is a command. Okay. So how to use the test command? Syntax of using test command: test followed by the conditional expression that you want to check. Or so there is a shortcut for using the test command is square bracket. Okay. So use square bracket. Inside the square bracket, you put the conditional expression that is to be tested. Okay. So you can use this form or this form. then operators used by test. So this test command can perform various numeric operations using the following operators. Here is the table: operator name, meaning, and example. So -eq, so meaning equal to. So example here is, say, using the test command, we are comparing whether the value of the variable A is equal to value of the variable B. So -ne stands for not equal to. So here we are in the example, we are testing whether using the test command. So square bracket is the shortcut for the test command. If the value of A is not equal to value of B. So similarly, the other operators, -lt less than, -gt greater than, -le less than or equal to, -ge greater than or equal to. So similarly, the test command can perform various string comparison using the following operators. So the following are the string comparison operators: equals, single equals, compare if two strings are equal. So example, so this test command test whether the string in variable A is equal to string in variable B. Then it returns either 0 or 1. So not equal to compares if two strings are not equal. Okay. Example, if the value of, if the string in variable A is not equal to the string in B. If true, then return 0, otherwise 1. Then the next set of operators, the logical operators. So the logical operator symbols are -a stands for logical AND, -o stands for logical OR. So as you know that the logical operators are used to check more than one condition. Okay, are used to evaluate multiple logical expressions. So this logical AND operator returns true if both the operands are the logical expressions, if the result of both the logical expressions are true, otherwise false. Logical OR, so this operator returns true if any one of the operands or the logical expression yields a true, otherwise false. So here is an example where we are checking whether the numbers are within the range 50 to 100. Okay, so the value of num is greater than or equal to 50 and logical AND -a, the value of num is less than or equal to 100. So then it returns true if both the operands returns true, then the output is true, otherwise false. So next is if statement. Now let us look at some conditional statements in the shell script. Okay, so some conditional statements that can be used in shell scripts are if statement, if else statement, if else statement. Okay, so sometimes it is necessary to test certain condition and change the flow of control within the shell program or within the shell script, and this is done via the if statement. So the if statement makes two-way decision based on fulfillment of a certain condition. So here is the syntax of using if statement: if followed by the command, so the command to be tested. So in this case it can be a test command, okay, or any other command. So if the output of this command returns true or else or false, so if it returns true, then commands following the then statement are executed. Or if you have elif statement, So command within the elif statement is tested. So if it returns true, then the commands following the then are executed. Okay, and then otherwise, if both the condition fails, then the commands following the else are executed. Then note that the if statement is terminated by using fi, which is the reverse of if. Reverse of if is fi. And also note that the parts in the square brackets are optional. Okay, so elif is optional and this else is also optional. Note that if, then, elif, then, else are keywords. So here is an example. So shell script to find the greatest of three numbers. So how do you start? Read the three numbers from the keyboard. So echo, enter num1, read the first number, store it in the variable num1. Echo, enter num2, read the second number into the variable num2. Echo, enter num3, read the third number into the variable num3. Okay, so then use the if statement to test the values of these three numbers. If value in num1 is greater than value in num2 and value of num1 is greater than value in num3, then so if this condition yields true, then the statement within the commands following the then are executed. Then echo value of num1 is greater. So elif, if this fails, it will control will go to the elif statement. Here we will again test for the condition. So what is that condition? Value of num2 is greater than value of num1 and value of num2 greater than value of num3. So then if this is true, then this command will be executed. The command followed by then will be executed. Echo value of num2 is greater. So if both the previous two condition fails, then commands followed by else is executed. So echo value of num3 is greater. Then how do you mark the end of if statement? Fi. So output of this command, you just go to the prompt and type sh followed by if test.sh file name, and it will accept the three numbers from the keyboard, and the data of the three numbers is printed on the screen. Let me show it on the Linux terminal. So the file name is if test.sh. So this is the program. Execute the shell script. Sh if test.sh. Enter the first number, say 12. Second number, say 34. Third number, 11. So 34 is greater now. So it will be printed. So 34 is greatest of the three numbers. Then the next control statement, the case statement. So it is similar to switch statement in other languages. So the case statement lets a shell script choose from a list of alternatives. So syntax of using the case statement. So the case keyword followed by the variable that is to be tested to choose one of the possible choices of action, and then the in keyword. Then this is followed by the choices, choice 1, choice 2, and so on. The default case is star followed by right parenthesis. Okay. Note that choice 1, choice 2, etc. Are followed by a right parenthesis. This is necessary. Okay. And the double semicolon is used to end the choice. So double semicolon is used to end the choice. Okay. And the word ESAC is used to mark the end of the case statement. So this is the reverse of case. So ESAC. So how it works? So this case statement will test the value of the variable. So if the value of the variable matches with any of the choice, so then the commands following those choices will get executed. Suppose if the value of variable matches with the value in choice 1, then the commands following the choice 1 are executed. So here is an example. Write a shell script to create a menu which displays list of file, current date, process status, current users on the system, quit to Unix. Okay. So first, using the echo command, you create a menu. Okay. So one is list of files. So second, if you press 2, current date should be displayed. So then 3, process status, 4, current users, and 5 is quit. And the next thing is, after displaying the menu, so ask the user to enter the choice. So display a message, enter your choice before reading the choice using echo command. Then read the choice. So using the read statement, read followed by the variable is choice. So the value of choice read from the keyboard is stored in the variable choice. Then write the case statement to choose any one out of the 5 options or menu. So case followed by the variable. So variable is choice, prefix is $, to retrieve the value, and then in is the keyword. Then these are the choices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they should be followed by right parenthesis. Say if the value of this variable choice matches with choice 1, then so you have to list the files now. Then what is the command that will list the files in the current directory? Execute the command. Okay, so ls followed by -l for long listing. Okay, then that this command will get executed. It will display all files. The value of choice matches with choice 2, then which is the what is to be displayed? The current date. So what is the command to display the current date? The date command. Okay, just type the date command. Okay. So like that. Okay, so when the choice is selected, you have to display the process status. So how to display the process status? PS command. PS followed by -f for full listing. So then if the choice is 4, you have to list the current users. So who command will list the current users? Then if you want to quit, you use the exit statement or exit command. So in other cases, you have to display invalid choice using echo command. So that is default cases. So put a star followed by right parenthesis, and then type the command echo invalid choice. So don't forget to end the case statement using ESAC word. So this is the output when you run the program. So this is the menu that is displayed. So when you run, it will ask the choice. If I press 2, so it will display the current date. See here, the current date. Let me try this on the online Linux terminal. Yeah, so the file name is ext.sh. So this is the program. Run the script ext.sh. See the menu will be displayed. Then it is asking for you to enter the choice. Say 1. Then ls command will get executed. So it will list the files in our current directory. Similarly, run the script again. So now the choice is 2. Then it is display the current date. Select. Then next we will see some looping statement after the control statements. So what I mean by looping, repeatedly executing a set of statement until certain condition is met. So the shell features three types of looping: while, until, and for loop. So first one is the while statement. So the while statement repeatedly perform a set of instructions until certain condition is met. So here is the syntax of using the while statement: while the keyword, then followed by the command, then do is the keyword, then commands, then done is the keyword. Okay, and here the commands within do and done are executed until certain condition is met. So here is an example: write a shell script that displays the number 0 to 9. So how do you write the program? So the first number to be displayed is 0. You initialize in a variable. Okay, so a is equal to 0. A is a variable, okay. And then use the while loop. So while the value of a is less than 10, okay, you go and display the number on the screen. So echo the value in variable. So echo $a. So don't forget to prefix the variable name with $. So that will retrieve the value, and echo is used to display it. And then once you display the number, you increment the number because you have to display the next number, no? So increment the value in a. Okay. So how do you increment the value in a? So shell script does not support computations directly. So it depends upon the EXPR utility. So EXPR is a utility. So EXPR is used to perform the arithmetic operations. So EXPR followed by value of a plus 1. So you have to increment the value of a, no? So value in a plus 1, you add it. Okay. Then you have to assign the value to the same variable a. So how do you assign it? So the output of this statement, you have to assign it to the value of variable a. So this is done by command substitution operator. So which is nothing but back code. You put a back code. So this is not a single code. So this is a back tick or back code symbol. Then whatever the results of this statement, this will be assigned to a, variable a. Then how do you mark the end of while statement? Done, using the keyword done. So let me show the demonstration of this. So file name is ex4, I think. Yeah. So this is the program. It's already written using the VI editor. Then run the script ex4.sh. See, the numbers are printed on the screen 0 to 9. In the for statement, the for statement does not test a condition like while, until, but operates on a list of items. Okay, so it simply operates on a list of items, and commands are executed for every item in the list. So this for statement is used to iterate over a list of values until all the items are exhausted, until there are no more elements in the list. Okay, that means commands are executed for every item in the list. So here is the syntax of using for statement. For is a keyword, then variable, in is a keyword, then list of values. This is followed by list of values. Then do keyword, then commands, execute commands, then done keyword. Okay. So the commands within do and done are executed for each item in the list or each value in the list. Okay. And in each iteration, the next item from the list will be assigned to the variable. Okay. So here is an example. So for loop to iterate through a given list of numbers. So I want to iterate through numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So use the for statement like this. Okay. For then variable. So variable name here is user defined variable. Say v, the keyword in followed by the list of values 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have to be separated by space. Each value must be, or item must be separated by space. Then do, okay, and then execute the command. Okay, so the command I'm executing here is echo. So I'm printing the value of this variable v. So $v. Okay. So as a result, this echo statement will be executed how many times? 5 times. Okay. So since there are 5 items in the list now, so this echo command will be executed 5 times. So in each iteration, the next item will be stored in this variable. Okay, so in the first iteration, one will be stored in the variable v, and then it is printed echo $v1. Then in the next iteration, 2 will get stored in the variable v, and it will be displayed 2, then 3, and so on. So like, so this is repeated until all the elements in the list are processed. So another example, write a shell script to list all the files in the current directory. So keyword for, then variable name of in, the list is star here. Okay, so star, as you know, that it indicates, so it is a meta character that indicates or specifies all files. Okay, so then do echo $f. Okay, print the value of the variable f, and done. You'll see the example of the first statement. Again, the file name is ex5.sh. So this is the for loop to iterate through list of numbers. Search. See, the file numbers are printed. Okay. Next example, to display the files in your current working directory. So the file name is ex6.sh. See, the output of the program is the list of files in your current working directory. So this is printed using the for statement. Then the next topic, EXPR utility. So it is used for computation. So EXPR utility can be used for simple arithmetic operations on integers. So as I said, the shell does not support direct computation. So it depends on the EXPR utility. So how to use the EXPR command? Here is an example. So I want to add 2 numbers. So say 10 plus 2. So pass it as arguments to this EXPR utility. So command is utility is EXPR. Then the operand one is 10, the operator plus, and then the second operand is 2. Okay. So if you want to assign the output of this expression command to a variable, then enclose it in backtick quote. Okay. Or simply backquote or backtick. So this is the sign. And assign it to the variable, say add. Okay, and then print the value of the variable add using echo add. So then obviously output will be 10 plus 2 is 12. Let me check it on the Linux terminal. no need of creating the script. You can directly execute it. So add, then backtick, expr command, then the operand that you want to add 10 plus 2, separated them by space, otherwise you will get an error. Now the numbers are added, display the value of the variable add. Now see, addition of 10 plus 2 is 12. So that's all in the today's session. Thanks for watching and listening.